There is fast fashion everywhere. In the past 20 years, it has significantly increased in popularity. It's very fun and convenient to shop for new trends at an affordable price. However, an excessive amount of cheaply created clothing has a terrible effect on the ecosystem, animals, and the environment. Wildlife is killed by fast fashion and puts endangered species at risk. It's responsible for the trapping, farming, and skinning of billions of animals every year. Despite having so many options, customers continue to buy a lot of quick fashion. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, 2.29 billion cows, calves, buffaloes, goats, and pigs were killed for their hide and skin to make leather in 2018. Many other animals such as seals, sheep, deer, alligators, snakes, zebras, sharks, cats, and dogs are killed to produce leather. They are often hunted, caged, farmed, and skinned alive. 159 million animals are slaughtered to make leather each year in the United States. That number is 4 times higher than in 1980. Leather is probably one of the most fashionable fabrics used in clothing. Few people actually realize they are wearing the skins of animals who have been killed in the millions to feed such inhuman production. So where does the leather come from? Your leather almost certainly is sourced from China or India. They can be whipped from cattle or even unborn calf. No way to be absolutely sure when buying mainstream leather. But even before this occurs, they need to be transported to the factories. The animals are often made to walk for days without rest, food, or even a drop of water. They keep trashed or injured to keep them working despite the dehydration. Many of them perish even before reaching the factory. Once the animals get there, they are kept in narrow enclosures where they may be castrated without anesthesia, dehorned, or branded. They then face the inevitability of the slaughterhouses. They are hanged upside down, still alive, and they are made to bleed to death before their skin is carved out. It is then treated using extremely dangerous chemicals. All of this is done in the name of fashion. No matter what type of material or where it comes from, if the process involves an animal, it involves horrific cruelty.
The goal of this study is to identify materials that could become an alternative to using animal skins as commercial products. Leather bags, fur coats, belts, and shoes are one of the few examples of animal skins products that are commercialized widely. We would like to find materials that would not cause any harm to our forest products. This is because it could cause an impact towards our ecosystem. The next objective of this case study is to recognize what methods are suitable to harvest and obtain materials that could replace animal skins, while also being able to maintain and improve its population. A proper way is needed when harvesting forest material, as we would like to preserve its quality in order to commercialize a product that could become a favorite among users. Other than that, we would like to pinpoint ways to prevent animals from being exploited for commercial uses, as we need to conserve these animals, especially the ones that are still in their habitat. The problem statement of this case study is that the amount of animals that are used for commercial products are declining. The more exotic the animals are, the higher they are in demand. These animals, such as crocodiles especially, are hunted in areas where income is harder to get, thus causing hunters to export exotic animal skins that could bring them a big amount of money. The use of animal skin does in fact harm the ecosystem. For example, the process of finishing a leather product uses harmful substances that pollute the water and could become hazardous. Wool production from sheep had led to trees being cut down excessively in order to make space for sheep farms, leading to soil erosion and a decrease in biodiversity. Aside from that, animal skin production companies especially took care of the animals very poorly and processed in a cruel way. The methods these producers use are horrific to hear, but even witness, as these animals are caged for life and skinned by tearing them from the bodies, mutilated, and also beaten, just so they could meet the demands of people that loathe animal skin products.
Research has shown that 65% of leather comes from cows, while 15% from sheep, 11% from pigs, and less than 0.2% comes from any other types of animals. Besides, for some animals, their skins are worth roughly 80% than their meat. Furthermore, animals that race for their skin often treated under deplorable conditions and killed in brutal ways. The worst is, baby animals also kill for the skin softness and suppleness. There are many alternatives to leather that are both cruelty-free and more sustainable made from forest products. For example, leaf leather. Leaf leather is an innovative plant-based leather made from tree leaf. This leather is more environmental friendly. Besides, this leather carries a nature vibe with cool leaf design. Secondly is mushroom leather. The mycelium, which is the vegetative part of fungi, is used to produce a highly versatile and durable mushroom leather. Mushroom leather is more breathable than animal leather and limits the proliferation of bacteria. Thirdly is coconut leather. It is made using bacterial cellulose grown from leftover coconut water. Besides, less resource in terms of energy and water consumed during manufacturing of this leather. Moreover, there is no uses of toxic chemicals in any stage of its production cycle. Next is cork leather. This leather is made from the bark of cork oak trees. For your information, harvesting cork trees does not require the trees to be cut down. This process can prolong the life of the tree. Next is apple leather. This leather is a biodegradable product created from the pomace and peel leftover from making apple juice. Besides, there is no plastic in apple leather as it is entirely made of waste. Moreover, talking about sustainability, apple leather is more thicker and lighter than any alternative leather.
Mushroom leather is more than a sustainable alternative to animal skin. Yup, you may be like, what's that? Yes, most of people are not being exposed to this kind of thing, but that's okay, let me be the one who exposed this to you. Mushroom leather is a vegan-friendly material used as a sustainable and environmentally friendly alternative to animal leather. The vegetative part of a fungus called mycelium is used to make this mushroom leather. Any eukaryotic organism or fungus is a member of this group. Eukaryotic organisms include fungi as well as microbes like yeast and mold. In contrast to the other living forms on this world, such as plants and animals, fungi have their own kingdom. For that, mushrooms have their own unique capabilities. Next, as we know, mycelium is used to make mushroom leather. But, do you know what is mycelium? Mycelium is the network of filaments that form the underground thread-like structure of fungi. It is a mushroom's branching structure which is made up of countless microscopic cells. Mycelium grows in the ground as tiny white tracts which create enormous networks beneath the forest floor. Now, you must be wondering on how this mushroom leather is being made, right? So, the correct substrate must first be chosen and moisturized before creating mushroom leather. Mushrooms use substrates as food and as a place to grow. Wood chips, straw, and other materials that the fungus can cling to and grow on are the most typical substrates. The substrate is then moistened, placed in a bag, and pasteurized. By eliminating interfering bacteria, this procedure makes the mycelium growing process easier and faster. Mycelium is placed in the bags after it spawns. The fungi begin colonizing the substance inside the bags. From this point on, creating mycelium leather merely takes time and minimal effort. The growth process takes 2 to 3 weeks and is influenced by some factors which are type of mushroom, type of substrate used, amount of sunlight, level of humidity, and ventilation. Mycelium is truly pulled from the bag when it reaches the right size and compacted to take on the correct form and size. Mushroom leather is produced in a circular economy compliant and entirely sustainable manner. When this natural fiber reaches the end of its lifespan, it can be biodegraded. This technique valorizes organic waste streams like agricultural waste. Additionally, this kind of leather substitute can lessen the demand for industrial animal agriculture, the primary source of animal leather for the fashion industry. Overall, since it can be grown and produced without the use of harmful chemicals, mushroom leather is a sustainable alternative to animal skin. So, by this, we can save our biodiversity for our next generation.